second quarter of the 19th century in England. What's happening there? Nobody knows, nobody knows. Hello, it's Gail Jan and welcome in the Cat Cave. Today we are going to talk about the new arrival in the Shondaland universe, Bridgerton. For those of you who didn't see the series, let's sum up really quickly. Second quarter of the 19th century in England. Daphne Bridgerton, the eldest daughter of the Viscount Bridgerton, is entering the world and she is quickly noticed by the Queen for her beauty and her good manners. But it is without counting on the late arrival of a total stranger, Marina Thompson, who catches the eyes of the socialite writer Lady Whistledown. Here starts kind of a war between the Queen and Lady Whistledown, whose favorite is gonna get the prize of the best marriage. England, 19th century. You got me there. You couldn't get more attention from me. I've read and seen everything that has to do with that particular time and space in history. So I was so excited for Bridgerton. And since I'm also a huge fan of Shondaland, I was expecting a lot from that series. And well, I wouldn't say I hated it, but I wasn't really impressed by anything. And I even fell asleep a few times. So let's try and see what went wrong. First thing, you cannot miss the intentions in Bridgerton. At the beginning, there is a character saying, the White King chose to marry a black woman, and since then, the whole society is at the image of that union. Okay, but was it not supposed to be a historical series? I mean, don't get me wrong, I really love the idea. I find that absolutely creative in a let's find out what would have happened if the human race was not so despicable in history kind of way. But you have to develop that, no? There is some series that are really good in that, like The Man in the High Castle, for example. They are really taking history completely backwards, or like in another way at least, and they are going through that history on a coherent way till the end. Here they are just stating the fact, and then they just go on with that romantic plot as if nothing happened. But I'm sorry, just stop there. This is the main point of your series. Just stop and explain a bit. And are they really embracing their own idea? Because the main character is another white girl and all the other black characters are supporting roles. So I don't really understand. If they wanted to do something that was really going into social differences in the 19th century and maybe like reinventing them and stuff, why are they not speaking about stuff that really happened? Did you know that there is actually slaves that fought their way up into society and arrived in court? Well, that happened, and that would be a great series and absolutely interesting to film. So, I don't know, I feel they just missed something here. So you think, okay, they missed the point with the political plot, there will be a great romantic plot. So the story starts with Daphne being alone with a man, and she's gonna be disgraced, so it's that time of history where women were used as an excuse to explain men's behavior. Yeah, wait, it's actually also now. Well, anyway, this is the time where the Duke appears and he rescues her from the disgrace. And then they decide to date in secret. But they like each other. But they don't like each other. But they like each other. This is so boring. This is just so not creative, and that Daphne has absolutely zero personality, and the Duke is used as a piece of meat for every sex scene that are definitely overused in that series. Anyway, there is a moment where you think, okay, the story is gonna go up. Now there is a twist. The twist is coming. The twist is the Duke doesn't want to have children because he promised his dad when the dad was dying that he will not have children, that he will not have descendants, and that the name will die with him. Okay, so every time they have sex, he is coming out to ejaculate. And then at some point, the clever Daphne thinks, oh, I'm not having children, maybe it's because he's not coming in me. Okay, so she knew already. The guy told her that he couldn't have children, and she imagined something like an erectile dysfunction or something like a disease, and that's already something that is absolutely impossible in the 19th century, but okay, why not? And then she's dumb enough to not understand that if he is not coming in her, she's not having children. There is really there is way too many discrepancy in that series, way too many. So overall, I was just waiting. The whole series, I was waiting for that flame, that little line of dialogue that will make the series memorable. Like when you watch or when you read Jane Austen, you have some lines that will stick in your brain for a long time. For example, it is universally acknowledged that a man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. Or, what are men to rocks and mountains? This is really like lines that stay in your brain. This is amazing. And I was really waiting for that, and it never came in Bridgerton. And even that Lady Whistledown, Gossip Girl kind of plot, okay, I find that interesting, but please go on with shocking news. And if you want to have some examples in the 19th century or at the court, just read Madame de Lafayette or Debussy Rabutin. You will have much more shocking news than that Lady Whistledown little, oh, this one was with this one and she has more pretendant than him. This is just boring. I'm sorry, this is boring. To put an end to that review, I'm finishing on a more positive note. I guess most of the people watching the series are not as picky as I am on the historic point or maybe on the complexity of the plot, so it's an entertaining series. You can watch it, and I will give a 6 out of 10 to the series, nonetheless. I would recommend you watch it if you want to get out of your everyday life worries or if you want to have really good point of views on different aspects of Ray-J Jean Page. But if you want to have an alternative in the same kind of series, I would recommend you watch Downton Abbey or The Paradise. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and that you forgot to subscribe to the channel, you still have time. It's just the link down below. You can also share the video with your friends if you liked it and ask them to join the channel. That would be really great. You can also put a thumbs up if you liked and also put a comment if you really want to contradict me on everything I said and that you love the series so much. I thank you for watching and we will see each other in another video.